Founder and Chairman George Seay. George, I'm curious to know your view on sort of the consumer demand for hardware, obviously some of the inventory challenges within the components of hardware. What are you thinking?
Well, I think that that's probably a very wise short-term trading call that was made on Apple this morning. But I feel like any serious investor, Apple's a must-own long-term, so it's more of a trading call. I do think that things are going to be soft for a while to come. It's going to take a while to work all this out.
How long and what's going to be the catalyst that does turn it around?
Well, the catalyst to turn it around is going to be more economic growth, and we're not going to really see that anytime soon. So it's going to be quite a while. We need the Fed to quit and either stand pat or start cutting, and we're many months away at a minimum of that occurring. It may not even occur this year. So it's going to be a choppy market, and it's going to reflect a choppy economy. And sometimes these things take a lot of time. So I would agree with that gentleman on his trading call, but I think it's bad advice for an investor. Investor has to own Apple long term.
Right. Isn't a broad China reopening a huge positive catalyst for Apple in particular?
In the long term, I think it's going to be very bumpy in the short term because they did such a poor job at reversing their COVID strategy. They should have taken more of a Sweden approach over the last couple of years. Now they're abruptly, it's like scratching the needle across the record player for people who remember record players. They did it so harshly and abruptly. They're going to have a hard workout period for the next several months. But the second half of the year, China should be a real wind at the back of the markets and the economy here, too.
You know, what's interesting is watching Apple make these baby steps in diversifying their supply chain. I saw today that their India-made iPhones exports there surpassing $2.5 billion in 9 months. That's twice the prior year's total. I mean, we know they're good at logistics, but even this massive challenge, I wonder how you think they're going to fare on that.
These numbers are huge. You talk about how much product they're moving around in the world, and that's a big lumpy process. Apple's no longer a very nimble 80-pound animal. It's an 800-pound gorilla, and it's going to be a big lift for them. But I'd just argue they're a little late in diversifying their supply chain. They were too confident in China too long, and they're going to pay a short-term price and trying to adjust to that. It's going to be difficult for them.